You're a wizard.
Welcome back, episode 119 of Revisited, and both a new topic and a new person. We are talking about why The Half-Blood Prince is the best Harry Potter book, video essay in parentheses, by MovieFlame. Never heard of them, but apparently this video got a lot of views. I don't know where it came from, because not only is this book not the best, it is a really bad book. What's up?
So they are... Okay, I was about to say they're a Harry Potter channel, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
When you go home, their featured video is how Albus Dumbledore and Percy Weasley are basically the same person.
Who could possibly care?
Who could? In this world or any other world. Yo, this book is really bad. Yo, I'm sitting here just like, this is not fair to judge the entirety of Harry Potter based on this book. Because back then, it was the worst book.
We always felt it was the worst book.
But, wow.
It's a really bad book. It's so bad.
And the worst part is...
It's boring.
It's boring because it is a big mystery. It's the mystery, it's the love stuff, and it's the Voldemort stuff. Mm-hmm. The mystery stuff, you know what it is.
Yep.
So you can just go, well, this doesn't entirely make sense. And as they're just like, who is it? Well, could it be this way? It's like, yeah, I know who it is. And it's not fun seeing the characters piece this together.
Yeah. Even learning, even back then, even without knowing who the Half-Blood Prince was, what does it even matter?
What does it do? It's just like, oh, it's Snape. Then that's basically what it is.
It's the end of the story.
He never gets the book back. It don't matter.
It doesn't. It could have been Ellie Prince or whoever Hermione was saying. Who cares? Who literally cares?
So that's out the window. The romance
shoehorned in, complete trash. Probably some of the worst written romance I have ever read.
100%.
That, first off, that beast in his chest bush is cringy every time. I'm just getting embarrassed.
Rolling my eyes. But I'm just like, show a conversation between Ginny and Harry.
A full conversation, not hey, do you want to
plot? Not just these two. What do they talk about when it's not anything here? But it's just plot stuff. And even when they're together, it's like they're talking about in great reading the newspaper and crap like that. They're talking about things that's going. It's like, what do they? We don't. She's not a character.
She is essentially 80% of the women character. Like, what's the difference between Jenny and Fleur? Legitimately, what's the difference in their character? They're both feisty, they're both kind of nice, they're both kind of snippy. End of...
You could just say Jenny's just jokey, more jokey, and that's about all.
Okay, she's got the Weasley jokey nature to her.
But yeah, you got the Lupin and Tonks. I'm like, Harry, what the act? Why? Legitimately, why is this in here? We do take this out and nothing changes. It's just another mystery thing that is just like, oh, why is she so sad? It must have been about Lupin. What if it was about Lupin?
Sirius.
What if it was about Sirius? What changes? Essentially nothing. All the kid in the next movie. Whatever.
Where did this come from?
Where?
Because from the time of the end of the 5th book and the time we see Tonks again in this book is like 3 weeks later in between those events. Where did the love come from?
And I'm just like, now I have to read I want to go back to the 5th one to just be like, was there anything here? Because that's probably the worst of all of them. Because my goodness, it's just that one. I as soon as it happened, I was like, this was in here. And as she keeps appearing, I'm like, It's just Lupin. It's just him. It's nothing. There's no defense to this.
You say it's the worst one. I'm going in Ron and Lavender.
Because again, Lavender is not a character.
One, not a character. Two, completely out of nowhere. He's basically not in the books for the series. And it is just like, oh, Ron, oh my God.
Even here in this book, I don't know her personality because she's just so attached to Ron. All I know is just not even know how she feels about Ron because I don't know what she likes about Ron. It's
a terrible romance.
What the actual... It's crazy.
And now we're all of a sudden supposed to get the Ron Hermione here. Why is everything here in this book? And you know why? Because there wasn't not enough of the rest of the book to not have this bullshit in it.
It was just like, okay, you know what would have helped? Don't make 7 Horcruxes. Make 4. Chase down 2 more.
5.
And then you can have whatever.
It should have been one of everything from the houses and one thing Voldemort covets. Whatever that thing is.
And then Harry as well. But then just fabricates, just like, oh, the sword was also a Horcrux. That's why he could destroy the other Horcruxes. So we need to figure out a way to destroy the sword, but we'll worry about that later. But whatever. And it was just like out of nowhere. In a lot of these books, and I'm remembering them as it's happening, this becomes important. The book that is introduced.
Oh, of course.
Fenrir Greyback. It's just like, oh, inferior.
Have you never heard of Fenrir Greyback?
Maybe you should have mentioned him.
He's the one that turned me.
You are the person. You've never mentioned this. The inferi, the infarti, whatever those things are. It's just like, they're in the newspaper. Harry doesn't know about fire. There's nothing to defend yourself in the newspaper, even though they're just like, Voldemort's going to be using them. They have a class with them. Yeah. Harry doesn't know about the fire thing. Dumbledore tells, it's like...
And then it's at the end, it happens.
And then never again.
Here and gone forever.
I'm sitting there and I was remembering them, and it just kept happening. The unbreakable vow that happened in this book,
dude.
where it was introduced and never again.
The unbreakable vow, it's unbreakable. You die.
It's so childish. You just die. Of course you just die.
Dude, the liquid luck here and gone again and again. Okay, I understand it takes 6 months to ferment and you could it up easily, but some dude teaching at the school does it. And why isn't there a supply? Does it go bad?
And it makes no sense because they established that he was constantly on the run. Mm-hmm. So how could he brew it? And he
over 6 months,
And he had a fresh batch as he's walking to school, and it was like a week between him. It's like, there's no way he could have brewed that. And he said that he only took it 2 times in his life. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he was taking it and it was like, oh no, Death Eaters are coming, swig. But,
and luck can only get you so far. That, dude, these are the rules.
the unbreakable vow. They were just like,
we should, dude, the Harry Potter because reasons
it's gonna hit
crazy.
Like crack. It's gonna hit like crack in the 80s. Cause it's so bad.
This is such a bad book.
This is a horrible book.
Go ahead.
But Ron was just like, when I was 5, Fred and George almost made me take the unbreakable vow. So they had to be 7 because I looked it up. They are 2 years older than him.
And they knew about it.
And they knew how to
do it.
They knew how to do it. They didn't have wands. The tracker thing didn't go off.
Oh, the tracker thing doesn't count, remember? They explained it in his book. The ministry can only count where magic is performed, not who commits it.
Sure. But then they were just like, hey, Harry Potter, you did a Patronus charm in the 5th book.
Yeah, because there's nobody in that area who else does magic.
Uncle Muff can't walk up the street and then Patronus and then walk away? Did they never think about that?
It must be Harry Potter. He's the only one in this section that does magic.
Somebody could literally just walk up there and Patronus.
Yes, but they didn't.
Is that the excuse?
It's her excuse.
I wrote down a lot.
Dude.
And this was only after I had finished. I was just like, it's falling out of my mind.
Not even during. So there was, I can't remember what author did it. It might have even been Stephen King. He said there's something where blank said adjectively is one of the worst things you can do. And there's a lot of debate in between writers of whether you should ever use it when it's okay. It's okay to use it sometimes, sure. But once you learn about that, you realize her over-reliance on it. Harry said angrily. Ron said snidely. And I was just listening, and I'm like, holy, she is a horrible writer.
But she also, there's another thing that she leans on, and I don't know if this is a British thing or just her being a complete total hack bum. But it would be like, I told you that, didn't I? She said that, hasn't she? And then that would be the end of so many people's sentences. And I'm just like, stop. It's just annoying. That's just...
Dude, this book is so bad, y'all. This book is so bad.
Real bad. And again, like I said, I don't think that it's fair. Because looking back, I'm just like, yeah, that was bad. That was in other books. But I'm like, there's some good stuff in this book.
There is almost nothing good in this book.
There's some good stuff in the book.
I can't
Fred and George are good.
Yeah, of course, they're always good. They're good characters.
Yes. Luna's good.
Luna's a good character.
No.
What are things that are introduced or within this book specific? Not characters that were in previous books that return and are still as awesome as they were beforehand. Don't say I liked, because that's not what I'm asking you. What is good?
No. I felt, and I was like, nope, that's not what he was asking for. It's hard, man. Because you got to sit there and think about it and just go, there's just things that just don't make sense. Like Harry, he's always been bad at potions. It's been established. We know that. You could be like, it's his hatred for Snape or whatever, but that only carries you so far.
Snape at best was never exceptional. At worst, I should say, whatever.
Snape was the one teaching it.
Mm-hmm.
So he would know those little tricks of just like stir, and then do a counterclockwise. Harry followed them to a T and was praised so much. So either Snape was just not doing it for some reason. And you could be like, yeah, he didn't want to be the potions guy, but he knew enough about it to do it. So why would he want to make, including his own house, his own house, he would make them worse. Why would he want to put out bad wizards into the world? That just makes no sense.
Bad dark wizards.
So you have to just either go that or Harry just wasn't paying attention. And that just makes no sense. It's a really bad book. It is astonishingly bad.
It's such again, like we said, even when we recognized, even when we were big into this, we recognized this ain't a good book. So I am very curious to hear what this person has to say and why it's not only a good book, but the best book.
If you like the stuff that's in it,
what's the stuff to like?
The romance.
It's done poorly. The best you can say is super lore implications.
Yeah, you get a whole lot of Voldemort stuff. I don't think that it was necessarily amazing. The morphin, his mom and grandpa and stuff. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
The first meeting between Dumbledore and Voldemort was good.
Mm-hmm.
7? It was never established that 7 was the most magical number. Why is it the most magical number?
Because
you can't just say that it is. Because we need it to be. Hang on. Hey, wait a second.
Oh, Lord. Now we got to look up. Oh, is it the most magical number?
Because I know this Harry Potter. Because it interviews and stuff.
We've established she is trash with interviews. Don't hit that bush.
Yeah.
Dumbledore's just gay.
Poo, and then just wipe it away. 7 was the most powerful magical number based upon centuries of mythology, science, and mathematics, and therefore had a very important role in the wizarding world. Somebody was the first to note this through a theorem. Shut up. Through the magical properties of, okay. This is some bullshit.
This is a theory.
7 seen in the wizarding world. Names. This is trash. I'm not going to read this. I am getting pissed off. I cannot read this. I refuse.
Let me see.
The word Horcrux is self-contained 7
Oh,
letters.
no, you can stop reading.
Weasley, 7 letters. Granger, 7 letters. The following people have 7 syllables in their full name. Ronald Billis Weasley. Hermione Jean Granger.
That was 6 syllables for Ron.
I probably just
It's
it.
Bilious or something.
The names Lily Evans and James Potter has 7 syllables together. These are bums looking for the number 7. After J.K. Rowling farted this out, They went, we gotta make it. We gotta make it 7. Look, where is something in the world that makes 7 something? Children went to Hogwarts for 7 years. There are 7 floors at Hogwarts. I'm not counting this.
No.
There are 7 core classes that are taught at Hogwarts. I'll take that one. The Marauders map shows 7 secret passageways out of the school. Shut the up. There are 700 fouls in Quidditch. Shut the actual up. Come on now. There's gotta be something. This is horrible.
She's never been good.
And these people are trying to make her good.
Yeah, no, this is...
There are so many things that people just went, no, but 7! That's all this is!
Yeah.
Buff just pointing at it and going, no, but 7! And they think that makes it good! No, shut up! J.K. Rowling's last name contains 7 letters. Shut up! It's still going! Actors! No, you do not get to do actors!
How about you read the description instead of... Watch, you'll have 7 words in it.
Man! Where is it?
You know, lost in the sauce.
Ain't.
Cool. Patreon,
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, fan art.
Cool.
Hit up the deuces. Like I said, the things that this person could like is going to be like, yeah, this was, I like Draco and his struggle to whatever.
Based on what? We don't know what he's doing for 90% of the series, and then he's crying in the bathroom one time and then whooping the very next time we see him.
And that scene with Trelawney was so horrible. It felt like she was running out of pages because it was just like Harry goes over there and just as in Malfoy fixes it, somebody sees him fixing it. Then
Harry
it's just like
runs into the person that found him fixing it.
And then they're walking away. It's just like, the prophecy. Snape heard that. It's like,
oh, Harry, it's time for our adventure. Please don't tell me about that right now, because the adventure.
She was running out of pages.
Too much time with that romance bullshit.
We gotta get into this.
Let's get into it then.
Over the years, I've said many times that The Half-Blood Prince is my favorite book in the Harry Potter series, and many people have tweeted at me, asked me in the comment section, and DM'd me asking why I thought this.
Pause.
So now
I believe it. If somebody said that, I'd be like, word?
Yes.
Why?
I'd go crazy on you.
I can see.
Of the 7 available, 6 is the one you choose.
From my memory, I can make a case for all of them, but this one.
Absolutely.
Because the big crux of it is the romance stuff, and it's done so poorly.
There's like 4 romances going on, and they're all trash.
Tonks, Lupin, Bill and Fleur, Harry and Ginny, Ron and Hermione, Ron and Lavender. Ginny and all them muffs that she's
Dean
banging.
Thomas.
What the ever?
in this video, I'm finally going to answer that, and I'm going to explain why I feel that way. Though this is a book review, I'm going to use clips from the films because that will just make the video more visually pleasing and entertaining for you guys. Also, there are obviously major spoilers for this book, every other book in the series, and in turn the films as well, so there's your warning. Before we start, I just wanted to say that I'm going to stop using the YouTube community tab as much as I have been and start using other platforms more so that the MovieFlame brand extends past just YouTube, just in case the worst happened and I lost the channel or something. So make sure you follow me on Twitter, which is the most important, because that will sort of replace the YouTube community tab. I'll be posting the most updates there, and that's linked down below. You can also follow us on Facebook, and if you want, you can follow my personal Instagram as well, which is full of cute dogs, behind the scenes MovieFlame stuff, and just some fun posts. Both of those are linked down below as well. Now, let's get started.
We are 1 minute and 7 seconds in before he's actually starting with his argument of why he thinks it's the best film. Or the best book.
The Half-Blood Prince has some of the best character development out of all 7
Suck! Insert thing here. Character development.
Voldemort develops.
Yes, factually, we learn more about him.
Ron and Hermione's relationship develops a bit. We don't really learn anything about them. We're talking character development. It's more like character exploration. I guess them coming to terms with how they feel about each other.
Harry gets worse.
Harry's never been good.
I might be on that boat as well. Because just when it was, this might be a symptom of the romance stuff. But Hermione at one point was just like, why don't you just use the Felix Felicis to figure out what Draco's doing? And he's just like, well, I wanted to use it for Giddy. I'm like, what?
Development out of all 7 books, moving their arcs forward, starting new relationships, and even having characters' arcs come to an end. But in order to understand...
Okay, but you can say that about all the books.
Yes.
It's about how well they are done.
The 3rd book, character arcs beginning, character arcs ending. Yeah. What's the difference?
Why this is the best book, we need to look at the entire series. Every book has so many great character moments and development, but when simplified, each book belongs to a character. The first book obviously belonged to Harry, as it was our introduction to his character. The second book belonged to Ginny, starting her first year at Hogwarts.
I don't think it did, because we didn't see much of her in that book, because she was so enraptured by the Horcrux.
Maybe he means that the books are centered around this person. Because everything in the book is kind of centered around Ginny's misadventures.
But is that to be praised?
No, absolutely not.
Is he praising it even, or is he simply just saying that this is what it is?
Throwing away and stealing the diary, and obviously being the one behind all of the attacks. The third book belonged to the Marauders, Sirius, Lupin, and Pettigrew taking center stage, plus the constant mention of James throughout the book. The fourth book belonged to Barty Crouch Jr., the man behind the plan of putting Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire, and pulling the strings of basically everything that
He's basically saying these are the people that the plot kind of revolved around for each book.
This is the big revelation at the end, outside of the first one with Harry, the big revelation person is the person.
And the sixth book is probably going to be Voldemort or some shit. Who cares?
Happened, including Voldemort returning. The fifth book belonged to Neville as he came into his own with the
Whoops! Nope!
Yeah, no, you could say that it belonged to Harry because he was started a relationship. He was coming into his own as somebody who wanted to teach people how to better defend themselves.
He was the child of prophecy.
Umbridge.
Umbridge, yeah, Umbridge.
Good.
as he came into his own with the DA. His friends found out.
Maybe even Cornelius Fudge, if you want to stretch it enough. Since he's the catalyst of all the doubt in Harry, why they needed to go to Rita Skeeter, the lockdowns at the Ministry. What is he talking
about his mother and father, and in the end, he came face to face with the person responsible for his parents' tragedy. The seventh book.
And what happened? Almost nothing. He does not get revenge or anything.
This is an omega stretch.
Big time.
Dumbledore, as we learn more about his past with Grindelwald, his sister, and his brother, as well as his parents. And the trio goes on a mission that he had set up with the objects given to them in his will. Well, all of these books focus on.
I'd say the third one is more about Harry, Ron, and Hermione and their relationship and how they see each other and how they feel and.
The new Marauders. Oh,
I'd say that one is the three of them, then Voldemort, and then maybe Dumbledore.
Character. The sixth book is able to balance the task of belonging to two different characters, Draco Malfoy, and of course Severus
And then
Snape.
That's why he did it. All these other books, they were just 1 month. This one's 2. And that's why this book's go good, y'all. It's 2 months that this book is. You can't just fabricate who the books are about.
How is the second book not Hermione and Ginny? If you want to go that far.
Well, even then, it can't be praising it because the third one with the Marauders, all 4 of them.
Yeah.
So what's the point of bringing this up like it's something? It's not Malfoy. He was distracted most of it, and then a lot of it was just Harry going, "Where is he? Durr, where is he?
This one.
Why is Crabbe just standing outside of the room of requirement? Durr!" It took him so long. Why? You know why? Because he was looking at Ginny. I counted. It was 3 scenes that Ginny was in before the Auga started.
Yeah, but he smelt the flowery scent.
Oh! You don't get to do that. You don't.
We've done it.
You don't get to do that. That's not a thing.
And it was super awkward the way she was trying to kind of push the audience towards recognizing that Harry is feeling a little bit more about Ginny, where he's just like, "Hey, Ginny, you want to come along? Hey, Ginny, you want to..."
Oh, Ginny's just there with the Slug Club. Yeah, I saw her hexing somebody. So I brought her along. Of course you did. Because she's such a hack writer. It's like, we got to put this in their minds. This is a bad book, y'all.
How is this book not about Snape and Dumbledore? Or even Voldemort and Dumbledore? The whole book's kind of centered around Voldemort, and whether Snape is whose side he's on and all this others. How's it not those two?
Voldemort put Draco up to the task of doing the thing.
This is a bad argument.
And I also hated, there was something I also hated where Dumbledore was explaining the Horcruxes thing once they finally learned it. It was just like, oh, the book, that's when I realized it. So here's my theory. Voldemort gave it to Lucius, and then Lucius was just like, oh, this is just some dumb book, and then he just threw it, and it's like, you did not set this up. So you have to be like, why would Lucius just give
The
The
Horcrux
book that Voldemort handed to him.
that contains part of his soul.
And he's just like, oh yeah, he was just like, oh, he must have just thought that was just the way to open the Chamber of Secrets. So that's why he was just like, oh, just throw it over there. It is that I'ma just cover this hole up. Nah,
Hey, isn't there a hole there? Dirt. Just shovel dirt with your foot. What hole? You don't get to do this.
You don't.
The book is named after. Let's start with Draco Malfoy. Throughout the series and the books before this one, Draco was always an enemy of Harry's, but he was nothing more than a schoolboy bully who bragged about his family's wealth and blood status.
Pause.
What's the difference right now?
He called Hermione a slur constantly.
Book 2.
The book that it was introduced.
He clearly modeled his cold and bullying nature after his father, the man who, according to Rowling, he admired most. However, while Draco was always there, he did not have a true arc until this book. His role model and hero had been sent to Azkaban, he and his mother had fallen from grace, and they were pariahs among the Death Eaters due to his father's failure, and in turn, Voldemort gave Draco the dangerous mission to kill the most powerful wizard in the world. Draco's existence had been sheltered and protected up until this point, but now with his father gone and his mother distraught and afraid, he had to assume a man's responsibilities and carry out a task that he was meant to fail and pay for with his life.
How is this an arc?
Yeah.
How is this a character arc?
Mm-hmm.
You can say it's a story arc for Draco, but how is it a character arc? What did he learn from this? The most you could say there's some character exploration and character development when you see the doubts and the fear he has.
But you could also just, and near the end where Dumbledore's trying to talk him down, but you could just be like, that's Dumbledore and his expert way of talking, just not, because he knew about what exactly Draco was doing, so he could just pick at every little thing. Like, did you really think that wine thing was gonna work? Were you even trying?
Draco, come on, my boy.
Do you even lift, bro? Come on now. I'm just meant to just drink this. Okay. Oh,
glug, glug.
Wine. Glug, glug. Oh, no.
What
I'm
a pretty
dying.
necklace. Oh my God. Right around my neck. Cool.
Oh, green's my color. Get right up on there. Just walk up and stab me. Come on now.
It would have been more fortuitous. Look, I'm looking you dead in your eyes. What you doing right now? Just lower the wine, kid. It's a Rizzy.
This book went from 50 to 100 with his character, and did it in a way that flawlessly studied the complexities of how fast your life falls apart when falling from grace.
Okay, but that's not necessarily his art. You can do that with anybody just going, your life is now falling apart. Go.
But did he showcase his life falling apart? He was tasked with a task he had issues completing. And we saw the singular moment where he expressed doubt of completing it when he's crying in the bathroom with Merlin and Myrtle.
And then near the end, when he's completed it, just going, this is all the stuff that I did.
And I'm awesome.
A big part of that arc relies on an outside interview where Rowling just goes, the person that he admires most is his father, and the father's gone now, so the person he admires most is gone. So if we take away that, it's just his dad going away, and we've seen, maybe 3 or 4 scenes with the two of them together, and it's always been plot stuff that they're talking about, or mud bloods, spits on the floor.
The moment when Draco cries in the bathroom and opens up to moaning Myrtle, a pair that Harry himself noted was most unlikely, we see that the boy that we once knew, the confident and petty schoolboy, was no more.
He's always been a sniveling little...
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry he cried because he's about to die because he can't do this thing. How's that a character arc?
He's facing up against Voldemort.
And Dumbledore.
It is, you have to kill the most powerful mob, or me, the second most powerful mob, is gonna kill you. So, you either die trying to kill Dumbledore, or you gonna get one of these.
Or you could fix it.
Or you could kill Dumbledore, maybe. Slides wine. There you go. It's just a little bit of an idea, you know. You can improve on this. This is just the skeletons of the idea.
All right, so here's two things you could do. You could curse him with some type of object,
like a necklace or something,
a ring or something. I don't know. I wouldn't do that because it sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But you know that I'm just off the dome.
Yeah.
Poison him.
Yeah, man gotta eat.
Man gotta eat. Man gotta drink. Slip it into something he drinks every day. I wouldn't, gift him something from way out. That's just dumb.
I wouldn't gift it to a great big fat person and hope that he gives it to him. That's not something I would do.
Yeah, I hope he re-gifts it. Like,
yeah, you do you, but
kill him.
You better do it. Yeah.
And for the first time, Rowling made us pity Draco.
I ain't pity that month. He was just getting done calling Hermione a mudblood.
How can we pity him when we don't know what he's doing? Throughout the entirety of the book, Harry's just like, this month is up to something. He sucks. I know he has the dark mark. He has to. It's all the Voldemort stuff. He is putting in our mind, and then we see him crying. It's like, oh good, he's failing to do the thing that Harry's worried about. I ain't pitying.
Rowling, however, did the complete opposite with Snape's character. Instead of making us pity him, she made us hate him far more than we already did. Rowling took a huge risk in the beginning of the book, and did something that went against everything she had done in the successful series so far, and that was telling the story from a different point of view than Harry's. This had sort of been done before, but it was under much different circumstances. The first chapter of the first book did this, but this was before we knew Harry and before his character was even established. So here we didn't really leave Harry's point of view, as we were never introduced to it. And in the fourth book, we have a scene at the Riddle Mansion, but this ends up connecting to Harry's subconscious as he was able to see and dream the sequence. So the Half-Blood Prince was really the first one to completely separate us from Harry, and it broke the boundaries and gave—
No, it's not. You just excused the first time it happened.
was one of the riskiest and most—
multiple pensive scenes before?
But what he's talking about is just completely, there is no Harry Potter. It is not connected to him in any way, shape, or form.
But it is.
Not the minister, not the other minister.
I can't remember. That might have been a movie where we saw Barty Crouch's trial, the junior.
That was a pensive.
Then
no, but Harry was there.
No, but Harry's here now.
Not in Spinner's End.
Oh, that was where the unbreakable curse.
Yeah.
Wow. The boundaries and gave us one of the riskiest and most shocking chapters in the whole series.
What? Risky, shocking? Is Snape and Draco's mom talking?
And then also another let's cover up this hole. Because it's just like, well, why wasn't Snape there when Voldemort came back? It was like, well, I was there. I was just there 3 hours later on Dumbledore's order because I'm a triple agent. Yeah.
We see Snape greet Narcissa and Bellatrix, and we see him state his faith to the Dark Lord. Information that blew my mind the first time I read this. Rowling—
Why? The whole thing is, what side of the fence is he on? Why would it blow your mind that he's talking to Death Eaters and going, I'm with y'all, and he's talking to Dumbledore and going, I'm with y'all?
Yeah, it's been the whole thing. The first book, they were just like, is he a vampire or something? Something's not right. And he's always been known as an ex-Death Eater. So it's not a big like, oh my goodness, he is one. It's just like, okay, that makes sense that he is one.
Didn't have to add this.
But then
chapter.
there's so many people, so many times where they're just like, Dumbledore trusts him. Mm-hmm. Dumbledore knows what's up. So do you trust Dumbledore? If you trust Dumbledore, then you trust his judgment, then you trust Snape. So there must be a reason why he's doing this.
Blew my mind the first time I read this. Rowling didn't have to add this chapter. The book would have been fine without it. But because she did, it adds so much to the reader's point of view, because we as an audience know something that the characters do not, something that up until this point had never been done in the series, because we always knew what Harry knew. And because we have—
But what does it do? It could just simply have been a conversation of, your mom, your mom told me to protect you and I did. this is, like you said, this isn't really needed. I wasn't listening to this going, yeah. I was just like, whatever.
I love Snape.
Yeah, Snape is great. You wormtail.
This information, we see Harry and Dumbledore's arguments in a different light. Although Dumbledore affirms his trust in Snape throughout the novel, because of the information that we have, we actually support Harry's suspicions that Snape is a traitor.
No, because of everything that has happened before as well. You're constantly meant to flip-flop over whether Snape would go back to Voldemort or not. Throughout the entire series, the very first book, most are like, was like, yo,
no, it's him.
And it wasn't.
They show it. That's why Hermione did the fire thing when it was the broom and he was whispering. It was, why wasn't he doing non-verbal? Because it had to happen. Yeah, that's why.
No, the other guy wasn't doing non-verbal, so he had to do a non-verbal to counter the
That's not what happened.
Yeah. It's only as strong if you verbalize the anti-curse.
7.
Had she not added this chapter, however, we probably would have sided with Dumbledore, the all-knowing, unstoppable wizard. Adding this was very risky on Rowling's part.
No.
Why was it risky?
Yeah, we know Dumbledore. He says he trusts him. There must be a reason why he's doing this. That's all there is to it. Dumbledore, when has he been wrong? When has he steered anybody incorrect? You can't just be like, oh, Snape is out foxing Dumbledore. There's no universe where this is happening.
It was very risky on Rowling's part, because the writing style from Harry's point of view had been so successful, but because she changed it up and did it well, it really makes this book stand out.
It was 6 pages! You act like they was half the book! Calm down, sir! It wasn't...
It was unnoteworthy.
You are a kid. You're a dumb kid. It has been, I don't know how many years between 5 and 6. Let's say a year and a half, 2 years. You've got Harry Potter in your hand. You could have opened it up. It could have been a big spring-loaded fist and punched you in the face.
Like
you still been happy. Because it's Harry Potter that you're reading.
Yeah.
This is not stunning and brave.
The first chapter is the other minister. Is that stunning and brave too? Because that kind of diminishes what's happening here. Because she did it literally the chapter before.
Out more than the others. Snape's loyalty is questioned by someone on each side. With the Order, Harry questions him, and for the Death Eaters, Bellatrix questions him. And ultimately, because of this chapter, Snape's moral standing is more difficult to define than any other character in the series.
It always has been. Yes. Because there's usually a clear defined line between who's good and evil. Nobody's like, oh, Fenrir, is he actually...
Now, wait a second.
He ripping out
on the summer. No.
He doing it for his grandma. No, he rips out children's throats while he's not a wolf.
About it. I hate that it's just so black and white. He's just like, children, their throats. Oh, and then Dumbledore's just like, I see you taking a liking to human flesh now. He's like, yup. Like, okay, so yeah,
shock you.
Werewolf cannibal, unabashed werewolf cannibal. What the introduce book 6. The same book that there's in Vampire. She's a hack. You don't just rock up 6 books in and just be like, oh yeah, vampires are absolutely real, by the way. And here's just one of them. What are the implications of vampirism in the world? Who knows? In Frankenstein, where he at?
You just said 40 minutes ago, it's not fair to judge the entire series on this one book. And now, 40 minutes later, she's a hack.
She was hack mode in this book.
Dude, this is EX hackery.
I cannot speak for
She did the cheat code for hacking.
I'm going to say that the first book was obviously rushed. Yeah. I mean, not rushed, but rocky. Yeah. Because it's establishing the world is her first.
It's a
book
brisk
in the
read,
world.
and I'm sure it's fine.
The second book is going to be better. The third book is where it picks up its stride. Fourth, fifth, but I'm not seeing any of these going above like a 6.
Dude, legitimately, as much as I love the fourth book, looking back, I'm like, ooh, those are some bad things happening.
It's just so tiring because it's just really not good. It sucks to just listen and just go, oh no.
Dude, I was listening and it was just like chapter 14 and I went, what?
What exactly has happened?
Ain't happening here and I'm halfway through it. When does the book happen?
All of this adds a twist to the mystery of this book, mystery being one of the most common things in the series. It's something that pops up in every book in the series, and in my opinion, this is one of the things that Rowling is best at writing.
She's a terrible writer of mystery. This Half-Blood Prince was awful mystery writing. There's no clues laid out a lot of time.
Outside of he's very good at potion making.
I think there are, I think JK is good at self-contained foreshadowing. Self-contained clues where the mystery is in this book and it ends in this book.
Yeah, like in the beginning where it was just like, hey, keep that one safe. And they're like, we can't see because of the big dumb cabinets in the way. Like, what was the cabinet? That was good. And then when he goes to hide the book in the room of requirements, he runs by the cabinet that this dude got stuck in last year. It's like, that's there. That's just like, she had this
on a
plan.
Second reread, you go, oh, there were always clues here.
Yeah, it's boom right there. It's like, okay, that was pretty good. I kind of like that.
This Half-Blood Prince, how were you ever gonna figure that out?
What connections could you possibly make to that? Why was the book just sitting there? You could say that it was Snape's old dungeon. But would he have his book from 20 years ago?
Yeah, it was his mother's book. Of course he would.
No, it wasn't. It was his book.
No, his mother had it before because it was in the print 50 years ago, which was before Harry's father's time. And Snape had a lot of hand-me-downs because his family was poor. So that was originally his mother's book.
Was it?
Yep. And she handed it down to him.
Did I miss that? Wait. Are you saying that the Half-Blood Prince book is
his mother's book that was handed down to him because they look at the printing of it and it was 50 years ago. Which
his
is
mother's book? What book?
The Potions book is his mother's book.
The Half-Blood Prince book?
Yes.
No.
How not?
Because Slughorn goes, just grab one of them from over there. Because they were just like, we don't have any books because we weren't expecting to take potions because we didn't get our owls.
Okay.
And then Slughorn was just like, no, that's fine. Go grab one of them over there and then order you one later.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes over there and grabs it.
Yeah.
It's not a hand-me-down.
How's it not a hand-me-down? You didn't explain how it was lack of hand-me-down.
Because it wasn't gifted. A hand-me-down is from his mother?
Yeah. It's a book that was passed down to his mother. A hand-me-down is
that's not a hand-me-down from his mother. That is his mother used the book and then Snape was just sniffing it or something.
No, he used it as well.
Why would Snape use it?
For his potions class.
Why would he not have a book?
Because it was a hand-me-down. Because his family was poor.
Weren't they in the same year?
Who?
Snape and the mom.
Oh my God, you are confused. I'm not talking about Lily. I'm talking about Snape's mother.
Oh.
Yes.
Was it?
When Harry...
Yeah, that's where I got you.
Yes.
I said Harry, though. I said Harry and I said Lily. You're like, yeah, uh-huh.
No, you said Harry. And I don't remember what you said around
Yeah, exactly. Harry. Listen back. Let's listen back to it. See, I was right.
I don't remember that part, but okay.
Yeah.
But it is his Snape's mother's hand-me-down.
Yes, to Snape.
to Snape.
So that's the only reason I could think he would still keep it after these years, because it's probably one of the few things he still has from his mother. And it's clear that he is a sentimental person, considering he still lives in the house that he grew up in.
But wouldn't he have the book?
That's a good point.
He's sentimental to have to keep it.
He never asked for the book again. He never went back like, who got my book?
Yeah. He was like, he didn't read Harry's mind like, you got my mama book? I was looking for that. And then they established that when they go into Snape's office, it's adorned with a bunch of books and stuff. Not his mama book? You just have to just go, yeah, he just left it there. Okay.
Yep.
He tried to read Harry's mind and he just couldn't.
No, he did. He said, bring me them books.
No, he said, bring me your bag and your books, all of them.
Yep.
He was like, bring me your potions book. Hey, you know what? Akio potions book.
No, you stay right here.
Yeah. You know, I'll go with you. Because he didn't go with them for some reason.
Yeah,
he just stood
Draco
there.
was already gone.
He just stood there.
Waiting for it.
So he couldn't read his mind well enough
to see that it was
one of the greatest occlumency users. Could not read somebody who was established. Could not do it.
Was terrible
at it. Hates Snape. So he can't close his mind off. Just committed what he thought was a murder. So he's not in the right mind. So Snape couldn't do that. Okay, what? And spark of brilliance. He just did it in this moment. That's fine. Couldn't read the mind. He just thought book, and Snape just got book. Got it. Fine. You go get it instead of just Akio book. Oh, it would have to pass through a couple walls and doors would have to be open. Okay, fine. You go get it by yourself. Done. We out of here. I'm just gonna stand here and wait for you? No!
And would Snape have been cooked by the book if Ron's name wasn't in it?
And she had to establish earlier, oh, this pen's not writing good. Get out of here. Snape, they established that Snape has true serum. You can just be like, nah. Come on now.
Glug, glug.
Come on. Let's just, you want to just tell me the truth, or do we trying to do this? we can just do this.
Can you rip a memory from someone else for the pensive?
I would say so, because he would have to have gotten the Azkaban, Voldemort's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He could not have been in his right mind. So I don't see how.
But that might have even helped him if he's not in his right mind.
Sure, but that speaks to, you don't need permission to get the.
Then no. It might speak to, you don't need permission, but the person can still do it, quote unquote, willingly. But then again, if you could imperious somebody and then have them do it, would it happen?
I'm saying that you could just grab it, because there's no universe where they would just give him a wand, and I don't see how. Sure, that's the barrier between getting a piece of your mind memory, or however the pensive works, because you can just rip that out your mind, but you can still remember it as well. So that's just like a clone of whatever, however. So much of this crap is just however this works.
Yep.
Because there's a scene
and them time turners ain't here.
They're not here. Hey, we can just use the time turner. No, we can't.
No,
they all broke.
Don't you remember Hagrid? We destroyed the entire
every single stock of them. Don't even worry about it. They're all gone. Was there any lint out in the world? Nope.
Hey,
are we able to repair them? Nope. Whoever made them, can they make more of them? Nope.
Hey, can't we use some liquid luck? The whole supply is gone.
Nope.
They wiped out the ingredient. Well,
but in this book, they're in charms class, and Flitwick is just like turn this vinegar into wine.
Transfiguration.
And
oh, dude, you just brought something up. Go ahead.
Hermione does it, and then Harry tries it, and he turns it into ice, and then Ron explodes it. What if you're just doing whatever and saying something? How is that your intention is to do something and then it just does something wildly different between two people? How does that work? You can't even like concentration. Well, if you concentrate hard enough, what's the concentration level between ice and an explosion? And it working.
The thing that pissed me off was the I'm gonna refill the wine bottles. That's a possibility. Why does anybody rebuy wine instead of just refill the bottle they have?
Why does anybody rebuy anything? A tomato lasts forever. Infinite tomato. I remember reading that just like, no. Hey. A little vial of Felix Felici? No. Oh, but you can't do that for some reason. Okay. Or maybe you can. It's so ill-defined because they were just like, swoop. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we can just do this now.
Yeah, this book is real bad.
The world of Harry Potter has a lot of problems.
Absolutely.
Because magic is so ill-defined and it just does anything whenever you want.
Until it doesn't.
Like I'm sitting there like, what is the purpose of using those inferi where they're just dead zombie bodies or whatever when they can just make stone statues and
especially when the inferi are so weak to fire.
They've got such a known weakness. Just make a big stone golem.
Thinks that Rowling is best at writing. Again, to understand why this book is the best in the series, we need to look at the series as a whole. So let's compare the thing that every single book is based around.
Pause. Who is Nicholas Flamel? No, I'm thinking it is who is trying to get the Philosopher's Stone. I don't think it's who is Nicholas, because in the beginning they just go Nicholas Flamel,
the alchemist.
That's not what the mystery is for the first one.
Who opened the Chamber of Secrets? I would say more so what is the Chamber of Secrets doing to people where they get petrified. But
what is in the chamber? It's a combination of what's going on with the Chamber of Secrets.
The Chamber of Secrets.
Who opened it? Who's the heir of Slytherin? What's down there? It is the Chamber of Secrets mystery. Either one, whatever. Who are the Marauders?
No, I'd say more so what happened with Sirius and the killing of and betraying Harry's parents and the killing of the...
Yeah, it wasn't too big of a mystery unless you go towards the end and you see the Patronus and you just go, who was that? But yeah, who was the Marauders? Sure, I guess.
Who put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire? Why is there no question mark on that one?
Calm down.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because it's questioned throughout the series. Yeah. What was behind the door in Harry's dream?
Yeah.
Yep. Who was the Half-Blood Prince? That's
why does this one get 2?
Because it's got to be different. The whole thing so far has been it's different. And it's only different because I'm making it different. Because if I applied the same logic to the other books, it would have looked very different.
And this one gets multiple mysteries. What did the Deathly Hallows sign represent? They say it in the beginning, quite early. It's just the wand, the stone, which is the lamest one, and the cloak, which is bushed because she had to run it back. Because I remember in earlier books, it was just like invisibility cloaks are a dime, it does it. But this one's really special because it doesn't like wear off or tear or anything. So this is the invisibility cloak. You are
Hack.
You show hack tendencies. That's a nice way to put it.
I'm going full on hack.
No.
Mystery aspects. In the Philosopher's Stone, the mystery was who was Nicholas Flamel in the Chamber of...
I know.
What? Why would that be the mystery?
Yeah. Because you need to make that book seem... It not who's trying to get the Philosopher's Stone. Not if Snape is evil or not.
If he's the one trying to kill Harry. None of that.
None of it.
Secrets, the mystery was...
They saw him of drinking unicorn blood, and the question is, who is Nicholas Flamel?
Why is there a troll in the building? Yeah, but who's Nicholas Flamel?
Pick up a book, cuck.
It's not like we're hiding his name.
Yeah, he's famous.
He's like 600 years old.
He's got a chocolate frog card.
in the chamber and who was behind the attacks.
That's two things! Why does this only get one thing?
No.
In The Prisoner of Azkaban, it was who were the marauders that made this map. In The Goblet of Fire, it was who put Harry's name in the
Harry, did you? One thing, goblet. Harry, I'm gonna ask you one time.
Excuse me, I can read his mind. He did not. Oh, that hasn't been invented yet? Okay, never mind. Into the shadows I go with my mind reading abilities.
They don't apply until I invent it.
And just looks at Kitty like, hey, wait a second. She opened the chamber. It's her.
Yeah. Hey, everybody line up. I'm going to look you in the eyes real quick.
Accio diary. Resolved.
It was me, the hero Snape.
Pushes her down.
I found it. Move.
I defeated the heir of Slytherin.
It was her. I don't think that's quite the book.
In The Order of the Phoenix, it was what was behind the door in Harry's dreams. In the Deathly Hallows, it was what did the Deathly Hallows symbol mean. And of course, in the 6th book, it was who was the Half-Blood Prince and what were Draco and Snape up to. The thing that makes the mystery in this book more compelling is the fact that it was based around 2 established characters that have been there from the start of the series and have played huge roles in every single book. As a result of this,
What was Draco's huge role in the 4th book? Or the 3rd book? Well, the Buckbeak, okay. He dueled with Harry, but that's not really a huge role.
Yeah. You said that he didn't really have an arc in any of the other books. In what way did he affect the plot? The 5th book was Harry Potter and his dreams about the door. Harry has been with us for the entirety of the series.
it makes the audience more invested in the Half-Blood Prince mysteries, because for Snape,
No, because it's not a mystery. Oh, you're talking about the book itself, not the book itself.
changes our whole outlook on his character, and it makes us question everything in the 5 books before this. And for Malfoy, it changes everything for his character moving forward, and makes us look back at his role in the previous books, and makes us pity him.
No! Because he was a douchebag in every one of those books because of his high hoity-toity bush. And then he has the fall, which isn't even really a fall because he's still on his high hoity-toity bush. And I'm going to get y'all. And he succeeded. And then the next book.
I'm sorry. He called her a slur.
Dang, but don't you feel bad?
No, he was like, don't you feel bad for this person just slinging the N-word like it's nothing?
Like candy.
Like candy. It was like, nah, not really.
Hey, death to that race of people. But really, pity them.
Sad, because I'm gonna die. Well, sorry.
Sometimes Nazis gotta go. And they are, never forget, wizard Nazis.
Yes, that's what they're going for. It's they don't like, but then you just gotta go, well, in this book, they just go, there ain't even enough full-blooded wizards. Most of them is halfies. Do you think it was intentional for the three of them to be a full-blood, a half-blood, and a muggle-born? I think that
Who was the half-blood?
Harry, his mom was muggle-born. I think that counts.
Okay. No.
I think that she did. I think that was intentional. I think that there are certain writing things that you do, kind of like Ed, Edd n Eddy, where tall, medium, short, stupid, average intelligence, super smart, one of them short hair, long hair, covered up. There are certain things that you do to distinguish them in a trio like that makes it such. Now, I understand I'm the one that's been calling her a hack this whole time.
I will grant you one parallel I think she thought of from the beginning. And I think that's the dichotomy between Harry and Voldemort, where they're both of Muggle-born somebodies. A full wizard, which comes from full wizard blood. And one was made out of love and one was made out of circumstance. And one is light and one is dark. They are two sides of the same coin. That's the one I grant you she probably thought of the parallels for. A full blood, a muggle born, and a half blood. No, sir. Might as well throw a centaur in there.
I am going to give her 65% that she thought of that.
I will grant it to you if she has ever said that in an interview. I don't care if it's an interview.
I would not believe her if she said that.
But at least I would go, all right.
She recognized it enough to lie about it.
To lie about it, sure. But if it had never come up, that means it ain't even close to her mind.
The reveal of Snape being the Half-Blood Prince, the thing that the entire book was named after, might be one of the best reveals to any
No, it's
mystery
not, because he just goes, you're going to use my spell against me, the Half-Blood Prince? Yes, that was my book.
Like your father and his friend did against me? How did they learn it, sir?
Like, he just yells it out. It's me, The book is me. Okay. And then what? It's just, oh, so it was Snape. Okay, yeah, it kind of makes sense because he's very good at potions.
theories, because it was right after Harry saw Snape kill Dumbledore.
I'm the Half-Blood Prince.
Don't call me a coward!
Do not call me a coward.
Snape is money.
Yes.
Snape has always been money.
Yeah. So he does not get credit in the sixth book.
I think that consistent writing without ruining the character deserves credit.
How many in your life characters have been ruined? Do you think it's greater than 10?
I could come up with 10.
Give me 4.
You gonna put me on the spot?
Not even half of what you said you could come up with.
On the spot like this.
4.
We're in the middle of a revisited. This is not the time,
dude. Half of the revisited has been us in on the book itself and not even paying attention to the video.
This is not the time.
It is nothing but
neither
the time.
the time nor the place, and I feel disrespected that you would introduce this thing.
The prince, all book to Hermione, Ginny, Ron, and everyone else. Harry swearing that the prince was a good person. He painfully finds out that the very person he had been defending all year was the man who murdered his friend and mentor.
But he's a good person, though.
Yep. It's a real Itachi move here.
The best person.
Yeah, but because he's the worst person.
Because he has to be.
That move was incel king.
He's a very petty man.
He was a simp boy.
Absolutely. Matt, I find parallels with the man. all right?
And looking even deeper, this in turn makes it so both Harry and Dumbledore were essentially crossed by the same man, making the mystery of the Half-Blood Prince and Snape's truth.
You can say that if you don't have the information of the 7th book.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dumbledore basically begged him to do this.
Mm-hmm. So he doesn't get his throat ripped out by Fenrir.
And Harry was literally saved by Snape multiple occasions, including the 7th book.
They have the information about the 7 Horcruxes because of Snape's book. I'm sorry, but there is no... It was good. He was good all along. He was just a petty incel baby man. Another thing that happened in this book, where they were just like, Patronuses can change? Yes, they can. Moving on.
Never happened before. Never will happen again.
And that was just more for the mystery of with Tonks.
It's a big 4-legged beast. Could it have been serious?
Who cares, Harry?
Loyalty even more pronounced and painful. Draco's whole character arc ultimately comes down to his moment with Dumbledore on the astronomy tower. During this scene, the mystery of what Draco was doing is finally revealed, and this is in my opinion one of the best parts of the whole book, because we again pity Draco and see that he's not a killer. Dumbledore does everything he—
No, he's a little cowardly baby boy who wants to act like he's a big strong man that could be a dog whistle.
But he's not. So I'm not gonna pity him. I'm just like, oh, so you was just all bark, no bite, as you're just going mud, blood, and all this crap.
Oh, the wizard Nazi has one of them cornered, and he's going, I don't know if I can do it, guys. I'm supposed to pity this bastard?
No, you're not a killer. No, he's not. There's no pity there. It's just a fact that he's not a killer. What?
Oh, dude. And this isn't even this book. That is 7th book. You could just take wands and now you're the owner of the wand. The wand recognizes you. So do we have to go back to all the times people have lost in battle and never gotten their W back to find out who's actually the... Come now.
Turns out Dobby is the holder of the Elder Wand or something.
can to make Draco feel like a child.
Yeah, when you just go, Draco's not a killer, you just go, what was his plan in the beginning when he found Harry? It was like, I'm gonna stupefy you, I'm gonna step on your face, and then you're going back to England. Wah! That was it.
Yeah.
So it's not like, okay, oh yeah, now you're just gonna kill the wizard Jesus? No. There was nothing, there was not anything here.
He can to make Draco feel like a child, revealing that he'd been watching him all year, that he knew it was him that cursed Katie Bell and poisoned Ron while trying to kill him, and Dumbledore even joked about his own murder, making Draco feel small. And again, looking deeper, the fact that Draco was pleased by Dumbledore's praise for figuring out how to get the Death Eaters into the castle reflects the extent to which he really is a child and not a true Death Eater. Contrasting this, while Dumbledore treats Draco as a child, he treats Harry the opposite way, treating Harry like an adult.
Once again, I must ask too much of you, Harry.
Harry and Dumbledore's relationship blossoms in this book. It's one of my favorite relationships in all of the series, and one of the main reasons why this—
What other relationships are there to behold in the series? You got the main trio. You got Harry and Sirius, which is basically nothing. Because it's just like he's barely there for the 4th book, and he's just kind of whiny in the 5th book.
And he's just basically a cool uncle where it's just like, let's go do crimes and have fun. No consequences, woo!
Fred and George, the relationship of the Weasleys. What relationship can you behold where it's just like, this is an amazing relationship?
It's almost like she's not a great writer.
book always stands out to me. They were coming off of the very intense and eye-opening conversation from the last book, which I actually argued was the most important conversation in the series in another video. So seeing them interact here was very interesting, and the whole concept of Dumbledore training Harry for his final fight against Voldemort is one of the most intriguing parts of the book, because it really cements the hero and mentor trope. As he trains Harry, they become closer.
Is that
and while
it?
Harry always trusted Dumbledore, Dumbledore now begins to trust Harry. He
Where
values
is
Harry's
the
opinion.
intriguing relationship here? They trust each other. There's student-mentor relationship. What else is there?
Asking him numerous times what he thought of the theories that he had constructed, and he tasked Harry with the almost impossible mission of getting a memory from a man who did everything he could to hide that memory. And of course, he let Harry—
Hey, I love Slughorn.
Slughorn.
He's such a dirtbag.
Such a piece of... He's just like, I could get like 200 galleons for that venom.
I think I'll accompany you, my dear boy.
Oh, this beautiful spider. Oh, such a poor thing. You should.
And then he gives us
such a tragedy.
What's that unicorn here, my boy? Where would one acquire that?
Just looking around him. It's just like, what else we got here? He's doing a slug club like your uncle. It's like,
Are you perhaps related to this famous person I taught? Because I taught them? He's such garbage.
he is a sack of just his altered memory where he was originally like, you're gonna be bad 20 years and you're Minister of Magic. I guarantee it. His alter would have just like, you'll go bad, I swear it. I know who you are.
I don't know anything about Horcruxes. Don't ever ask again. Leave and never return.
That'll get him. Checkmate, Dumbledore. Oh, you want my memory? Here you go. This is exactly as it happened. The room gets all hazy. It's all white. Mark my words, you'll go bad, boy.
Imagine Dumbledore the first time he humped it. This is the fake. He ain't even tried.
And even then, they were just like, he dumped the contents into the piss and
It
it
was
was
like
murky. He just grabs it. He's just like, yeah, I got something for you, Dumbledore. Here you go. Bloop. He looks at it like, thanks.
That's not how it usually happens.
Okay. We are getting older, so I guess that is.
Maybe it's a really heavy memory. We're dealing with some dark here. All right, let me just. You'll go bad, boy. What happened to the room? And then when Harry and him are in the memory, Dumbledore just smiling. It's like, Harry, we gotta recognize this is bull.
You see what's going on, right? Come on.
This is a horse. Harry. He just got a grin.
All you can do is just go, this mother really thought.
I'm Dumbledore. This is an insult.
He came into my school with this? We ain't even try.
He couldn't put 5 minutes more effort into this. The whole room went white. That don't happen in this castle. I ain't never seen no
Come on now.
It happened twice in one memory.
You don't know nothing? Slughorn. Yo, that's a good thing that was introduced in this book.
Yes, Slughorn is amazing. I said few. There's so few good things in it.
You'll go bad, boy. I swear it. Mark my words. Ministry of Magic, 20 years. I know what I'm talking about. I'm Slughorn. Mark my words. You got 20 years.
I've never been wrong about anybody. You're gonna do great things, Tom. Amazing things. I am encouraging you, my boy.
You go down your path.
You follow that. You follow your heart, boy.
Because I'll help you in any way I can.
Horcruxes, you got it, buddy. Now listen, this is powerful dark wizard.
7. You can do it, Tom.
So you gotta kill somebody, right? I wish I knew the spell to tell you to put it into something.
You need something, you come to Sluggy, all right? I got you.
Slug Club, one for all. Let's put up the C to connect them. Club boy. And it forms an F. Slug Club.
You're the bad boy. get the actual memory like, oh, this is horrible.
This is,
Oh my God.
he ain't no. He was like, Harry, don't think less of me when you see this.
Oh, dude,
I know I stuck.
I know it.
Please don't think any worse of me.
I caused all of this.
It's just like, but you won't help her only son. Stare into his eyes intently for 3 minutes.
She was murderous, Sluggy. She was. Voldemort stepped right over my dad to get to Lily Evans. Didn't say Lily Potter. Lily Evans stepped right over. She protected me.
She could have ran away. She didn't. She didn't need to. Oh, Lordy.
Oh, yep. And you not gonna help her son?
Crazy.
Hey,
couldn't be me.
couldn't be me. You caused this, and you ain't gonna try to help fix it? My dude.
You don't feel nothing?
You gonna let this man just do all this? We out here?
They got your boy on sexual assault charges. That's your boy, the one you be hanging with. It's like, look, he killed my mom, and you don't feel no remorse for that? You don't feel no responsibility? That's crazy, Sluggy. That's some crazy work.
Not be me.
Harry accompany him to get a Horcrux, but beyond just training and missions, there are moments that dive deeper into their personal relationship. Dumbledore protects Harry when Fudge, and later his replacement Rufus Scrimgeour, want to use Harry for their own political gain, and Harry ends up doing the same thing for Dumbledore when approached by Scrimgeour, saying that he was Dumbledore's man through and through.
I hated that scene.
Which part?
The part, the conversation was fine in and of itself. It was just the gnome trying to get the worm out, and it's a metaphor for what's happening with them as Rufus is trying to get the information out of.
It's almost like he's a hack.
It was some of the most hack I've ever seen. It's like, no, I got it, and they just kept fighting. Like, no,
Visual metaphor.
I got it. And then at the end, it's like, then the worm sat there happy eating the gnome sat there happy eating his worm. I'm like, I got it. You ain't doing nothing with this.
Something that Dumbledore was so touched by that he began to cry. It's moments like these, moments that hold so much emotion and sentiment that makes me love this book. Especially because after the relationship becomes so strong, it's cut short when Dumbledore is killed. And as I said before, this also fulfills the classic hero and mentor story arc. The main point being that the teacher's death forces the hero to fulfill their own destiny without them. Something that even...
Ain't no way that man was whole at the bottom of that tower.
Oh yeah, no, he was a goo.
Goo. He was in peace. It was just like, he looked like he was sleeping outside of his arm and leg being bit. Like, no, he didn't.
Spread eagle. Like,
No.
How about you lift that head up a little bit? Yeah. Let's see if he looked the same.
It fell off.
More fittingly, Harry realizes while he's at Dumbledore's funeral. Well, I've pointed out a few things that makes this book stand out because it's different. At the same time...
No, but different, though.
Different does not equal good.
And
it doesn't stand out because it's doing the same things the other books did.
You just have to make it seem like it's not.
The most you can say is doing slightly more, and it's not even doing that. Sorry.
He just said, but at the same, and he's just going, at the same time, he's doing the same stuff that the other stuff do, but better, baby.
Let's go back a little bit, man.
Things that makes this book stand out because it's different. At the same time, it also feels recognizable, and that's because Rowling actually made this book.
It's the same but different.
Mm-hmm. You get all of it. You get everything.
It can't lose.
Mm-hmm.
Have many similarities to the very first book in the series, bringing us back to the series' roots. For starters, we begin from a Muggle's point of view, looking in on the wizarding world. In the first book, it was through the eyes of Vernon Dursley, and in this book, it's through the eyes of the Muggle Prime Minister.
But you already threw out that first chapter going, this is the first time we done seen this type of It don't count on that one.
He threw it out when it wasn't convenient for his argument at that point.
But now it's convenient again. Okay, the first book is probably the second worst book. So why are we clapping that it's had some similarities to it?
We also see a contrast between Harry and Draco's first meeting in Madame Malkin's. The first time they met there, neither of them knew who the other was, and they were not yet enemies. But when they meet during the Half-Blood Prince, they've been longtime enemies, and we see just how far they've come over the past 5 or 6 years. The biggest and most notable—
That's it? They meet again in the same place?
Yep. What more could you possibly want? But here's the biggest one.
Parallel between the first and the sixth book, however, once again comes back to the character that the book is named after. In both books, Harry constantly questions Snape's loyalty, while all of the adults around him deny this. Harry was sure that Snape was going to steal the Philosopher's Stone in the first book, but in reality, he was actually protecting Harry.
Snape was trying to save me.
And this time—
Snape knows healing charms.
He knows that healing charm for his spell.
You telling me he doesn't know a basic one?
No.
And Harry Potter fans arguing, I'm just like, he does not.
Can you refute that?
Isn't he a great wizard? Yes, he is. He doesn't know healing? He most certainly does not.
Are you telling me that a great basketball player is great at all their things? Or maybe they're just very good at 3-point shots, huh? All right, then.
I would find it pertinent for everyone to learn a basic healing charm.
Hey, there's people in the Ministry of Magic that doesn't know protection charm.
You can't tell me that. That doesn't make sense. You can't just say that.
Said it and did it. Gotta order a 500 of them. There's 500
hats and
There's 500 moms that don't know how to do a protection spell.
what? No. You can't be like, yeah, all the adults are just incompetent. The government. Yeah. You can't.
Why didn't either of the Death Eaters or the people that went to protect the school have any of those constantly protecting thing? Because Muggs was just doing stupefying shit. So some of them can at least be alleviated.
Put on 4 of those hats. Is it 4 times the effectiveness, or does it cut it into 4? Who knows?
around, Harry thought that Snape was responsible for Dumbledore's death and thought that he was working for Voldemort. But once again, as we find out in the next book,
you can't say this book did all this and then if without the knowledge of the next book, and then go with the knowledge of the next book. You see how much you can't have it both ways. It can't be great because we don't have the knowledge of the 7th book, and great because we have the knowledge of the 7th book. This is terrible. How are there 6 minutes left?
He ain't talk about the romance.
There's no way there's a part about the romance.
It's so much of the book.
everything he was doing was to protect Harry. It's poetic, really.
That is a small hand on a large head.
He's got a big head.
That's a big old head.
Is that a CGI hand? What is that?
It is
baby hands and Radcliffe.
That is a small hand on a big old head.
What? A big head. Something. Either that is a very large head, or that is a very small hand.
There's only 2 options.
What is that? It looks like a puppet hand. This looks very bad. Perspective, I don't know what's going on here. One single shot is a still frame. This looks very bad.
Now, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you'll know that Voldemort is my favorite character in the series, and this book is one of the main reasons why that is. I've talked about his past a lot, so I don't want to go into too much detail here, but it was a brilliant move on Rowling's part to build up this villainous character that we hate, and then have us dive deep into his past. Just
to make us hate him more? Cause he's a
How is it genius to introduce a character,
A villain.
and then explore that villain. Yes, there are things that are just like, here is the villain, how they became the villain, and then them doing villainous things. But it's not such an outlandish thing to be like, here is this and here's how he got here. It's not genius. It's basic writing.
It's like with Draco, we sort of pity Voldemort, and
At what point should we have felt pity for Voldemort? That he's an orphan?
He comes from scum, so I'm not pitying him.
But pure
for that.
blood scum.
Bunch of inbred muffins, cross-eyed
Cousins fish.
and then they're just like, there's Voldemort's mama. She wasn't a particular looker. I'm like, I don't need to know how pretty she was. Why are you telling me this? She has a big problem with describing people.
She has that, and she has a big problem with it feels too much like older Disney-esque, where the pretty people are the good people and the ugly people are the bad people. And it's always like, oh, that's a bad person, they must be ugly.
Because I think Petunia in this book was described as horse-faced twice. Like, what? Calm down. You don't need all that.
Yeah, but she's the baddie. Are we the baddie?
Are we the baddies?
when Harry shows signs of this, Dumbledore asks, could you be feeling sorry for Lord Voldemort? As we see more and more memories, we see Voldemort.
It wasn't necessarily for Voldemort. It was her in her such a pathetic state that she wouldn't even use magic to save her own life. Mm-hmm. That she would give away a prized family possession for what, like the equivalent of $250. So it's just like, dang, that kind of sucks. Especially when you consider how put upon she was. She was getting yelled at and beaten and all this crap. So you just go, dang, it kind of sucks for her. It's like, you're feeling bad for Voldemort? I'm like, well, it's also the connection between growing up without a parent. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily feeling bad for him. It's the idea of an orphan and the mother who abandoned them.
Voldemort's progression of evil and his transformation as he makes Horcruxes, and it's so fascinating the way he charms and manipulates people to get what he wants. This is a far different villain origin.
I would have felt better if we had seen more of that manipulation outside of some old pedophile lady and big dumb and easy to charm Slughorn.
Oh, well, you're one of the greatest I've ever seen. Yeah. But if you can't tell me, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know, that's fine too. But I was just wondering.
You know, if there's anybody that would know, it'd be you. But if you can't say it, I understand.
Slughorn is easy. It was one conversation between him and Slughorn, between him and Harry, where Slughorn like, fine, I'll do it.
I'll teach your class.
I'll teach your dumb school. So Slughorn is easy. And then that lady was already just like, ooh, this handsome
you are
young
such
boy.
A handsome boy. How that penis looking these days? Look,
I'm rather forward, ma'am.
I'm just trying to buy and sell trinkets, man.
The tiara. Come on now.
Can we just...
Not in front of the house elf. At least get the slave out of here. Because, slavery. Because, rich white man inheriting slave in this book. That's fine.
Of course, Harry, you get a considerable amount of more gold in your account.
This is fine.
Totes fine.
This is fine. The man owns a literal slave. And Dumbledore...
Hey! If house elves can do anything to follow their master's orders, why couldn't they go in the room of requirement to see what Draco was doing?
They have magic that supersedes wizards sometimes.
Yes, because I can't remember if it was Creature or another one who drank the potion and then went back to the master when that should not be possible. They can disapparate and apparate into places
into the school.
That cannot be done.
The school is hard rule. You cannot do this, but then elf magic supersedes that.
So why could they not go in that room?
Because they couldn't. Because the story needed to happen.
You know what would have helped? If in the 7th book he didn't say, hey, that elf magic is different though.
That's it different. But then it's still it's equivalent to normal magic, because when Dobby did it, they were just like, you did a floating charm with the cake.
Yep.
But they didn't recognize the disapparation.
But why wouldn't they look at his wand and go, here's the former spells you've done, the most recent, there's no levitation here, so guess it was somebody else.
But back to what I was gonna say. Dumbledore, he goes, okay, there's a quick way to tell if you own the house, and that's with creature.
Yep.
And if you don't own the house or
We
creature, we cooked. We better stay out of that house or we cook. But he goes, we'll have to find some way to keep creature from Bellatrix. And I'm just like, you gonna kill that elf?
Oh yeah,
Because otherwise it's just like, snap, there we are, here's all your secrets. There's nothing else that you could do but kill that elf.
100%.
So we're just like, we're just gonna kill this slave.
Yep. Because it's inconvenient. Their living is inconvenient to us, so they must die.
Yeah, we can't be letting you.
They must either be enslaved in a way that they cannot use their magic
In a way that they do not want to be, factually.
Yeah, because other ways they do want to be.
But this one does not want to be enslaved in this way.
Also,
Or-
Harry is not a good person.
He is very much not a good person.
He is a terrible person.
He's very petty. I saw, because in the Quidditch game, he got bumped into. He was just like, I'm gonna bump into him now. Oh, the snitch! Like, priorities.
I hate how the movie or the book frames him as correct about Draco, because he was pig-headed about Draco.
No, he was very annoying.
Legitimately obsessed.
I think that was to counteract all the other books where he goes, this is what's going on, and it's so far off the mark. I think that was another bit of a twist where it was just like, Draco's doing something with the dark mark, and he's gonna do something that involves Voldemort.
But
he
when
was
did he
right
get
all
off the
along.
mark about something like that?
He was probably off the mark about something like that, because he's always doing something with that.
But
I'd have to
this
reread
level
it.
of obsession with it,
No,
where
yeah, no,
I
it was
am
bad.
correct.
Yeah. No, it was bad, because they were just in certain points of the book, they were just like, yeah, whatever.
This
got
again.
it.
But then Hermione brings up the Half-Blood. Why are you bringing him up again? You're just mad because I'm doing
And
well. You mad at my shine?
I think I noted this, like, at the end.
Where Hermione's like, yo, I was kind of right, though. I was cooking.
No, it was at the end where, when he learned that the Death Eaters had gotten in from the cabinet, he looked at an ashamed Ron and Hermione.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
couldn't help but look at them,
Yeah, it's like I'm right. You know, Dumbledore's dead and all this, but let's not forget, your boy was right.
Harry, are you proud of being right now?
I find it odd that we don't get a conversation with Slughorn past the memory thing, because that would have been just very awkward.
Yes,
And I think that it's best to avoid that. But you gotta at least be like, Slughorn, you kept that for all this time? So when
I gotta put in 7 ingredients, huh?
So when the monk died, when he tried to kill me, you knew he wasn't dead. You knew.
Why you ain't tell nobody?
You was out there celebrating
With the rest of them. But in the back of your mind, there was a little niggle where you were like, actually.
Wait a second. There's 6 of them muffs out there. He's 6 people.
This never 6 people.
You just let them celebrate like that, huh? All right.
Joined in. You know he had some grapes in his mouth.
7 ingredients. I got you.
I think we're gonna split these.
Story than most, and these flashbacks.
Wait, I'm sorry. There's no way he just said that.
Different villain origin story than most.
It's a different villain origin story than most. In what way? What is the most? What are the other things you are talking about? There are so many stories where the villain is actually a subjugated, quote unquote, sympathetic person.
But I want to hear what it is before I start to refute this.
And these flashbacks or memories are, in my opinion, some of Rowling's best work. And that's
so it would have been better if he was not out the gate amazing, because Dumbledore notes just like at his age, he's doing all this wandless stuff. He's doing all this to such a proficient degree.
He's basically manipulating people with his words. Just tell the truth.
So more parallels between Harry if he had also just been like, just sort of out of his depth and then grew up and
mediocre AF.
No, Voldemort learned it because he's actually good. And whereas Harry is very mediocre.
AF.
saying something. Even though this is the second to last book in the series, surprisingly enough, this book introduces us to quite a few things, some small and some very big. We're introduced to Inferi, dead bodies reanimated
where they do not come up again, not even in the Battle of Hogwarts.
Dark Wizard.
They don't. So what does it matter? It is just for this scene. It is just to get the trifecta of werewolves, vampires, and zombies. Get this trash out of here. It's meaningless.
We get some new characters like Horace Slughorn, Fenrir Greyback, and a few other Death Eaters
Greyback sucks.
Yes. Every book in the series introduces new characters. This is a worthless point of praise. Worthless.
You didn't say that Greyback was good or bad or anything. You just said that he's been introduced.
And he sucks. He's just a cannibal.
He's just an evil werewolf person. It's not even Lupin doesn't even get any comeuppance or anything.
Yeah, no, he dies.
He's just off screen. They just walk up into the hall and just like, and there was Lupin and Tonks dead. Oh. Yep, that's how it happens in war sometimes. It do be like that.
Moving on.
The first time, we're introduced to the idea of Harry being branded as the chosen one rather than the boy who lived. As the boy
Wouldn't it be the same?
Yeah.
who lived, people either pitied him or questioned why he survived. But now...
No, they also revered him.
Yes. Oh my God, that's Harry Potter. And Jenny couldn't even talk to him because he's Muff and Harry Potter. However much Voldemort was feared, people were in awe of Harry Potter.
Chosen one, he's viewed not as a boy, but as a man, and as everybody's last hope and savior. The biggest thing that's introduced in this book, however, is of course Horcruxes. Rowling was originally going to reveal this plot point in the second book, but she decided to hold off.
I do not believe it.
Nope, I don't believe her.
I do not believe it because you don't just...
You know what? Maybe. And I'll tell you why maybe. Maybe in the second book, she was going to reveal that Voldemort put a piece of his soul into this thing.
The shadow of what was to be Horcrux.
In the same way that once Dumbledore learned about Voldemort taking Harry's blood to resurrect himself, there's a twinkle of triumph in his eyes. That same type of... But
yeah,
as far as they fleshed out... Nah.
7,
Nah.
Because the diary works so different than all of the other ones.
Yeah.
None of the other ones
showcase
resurrection via sapping somebody's life force and crap like that. The necklace just makes them crappy. That was it.
The ring is
I
nothing
think it
but
also like choked him or something.
The ring was nothing but positives if not for the giant curse on it. You just get to see your dead loved ones. What's the bigs?
to reveal something so instrumental to the series in the second to last book, but yet it's brilliant. If Harry had known about this in the second book, it would not have had the same effect, because it's the thing that pushes Harry to want to finish this once and for all.
No, he could have been wanting to finish it once and for all of them, because he could have been looking at everything that is important to Voldemort,
Yes.
and try to research more about Voldemort.
Yes, we could have slowly gotten the things that Voldemort covets and what he's looking for, what he would attach to in a Hufflepuff and a Ravenclaw and all this stuff. Instead of his last minute, I need this or whatever.
You look through old books and see, there's Tom Riddle. He was Quidditch captain or something. Does he covet something with Quidditch?
It'd be very much like Adam Hartfather, that fight, where it's just like they're gonna research Kara. Let's find out a little bit more about him. This muff collects his fingernails.
Okay, then.
I know that I said that the focus on relationships in the Half-Blood Prince film was awful, but in the book, the relationships were actually really well done.
You cannot
lie.
believe this.
You are just lying to us.
You cannot honestly be believing this at this point, sir. You can't be putting pen to paper like this is Flames.
This is a modified video. The original is just like these romances are horrible, and the book is actually good with the romance. Mark my words.
It's just a white cloud all of a sudden.
It's actually super well done.
I wonder if anybody's actually made that joke while doing a Harry Potter thing. You have to. It's such an easy joke, and it would be pretty funny. But I'm gonna tell you why this is the best book in the history.
In the book, they complement the story, while in the movie, the relationships dominate the story.
No. Don't explain why that's bad. This is not good because that's bad. Explain why this is good here.
The relationships kind of dominate a lot of this story.
The man was gonna use his luck potion to just maybe get a chance with her.
No matter what, so many of these, oh my God, I love them, comes out of nowhere.
Ron and Hermione did not have a good conversation for like 2/3 of the book because it was all this lavender stuff.
Rowling once again intertwines two things, this time two relationships, just as she did with the two characters that own this book. This time I'm talking about the relationships between Lupin and Tonks and Bill and Fleur.
Cannot.
What are you clapping for here, sir? What can you possibly be clapping for
There's
here, sir?
nothing.
What can you be talking about, sir?
What conversation do we see with Bill and Fleur? What?
What conversation do we see again with Tonks and Remus?
What? There's nothing. We are being told that they are in a relationship.
And
we don't
to be
feel
married.
it. There's nothing to feel there other than the annoyance that the characters are constantly spouting.
Ultimately, these two relationships play off of each other. Lupin refuses to be with Tonks because
But we don't know that until the end of the book!
It's not like play off of nothing.
There's nothing to play off of! We barely get 3 conversations with Lupin, and one of them is at the end with Tonks there!
he's too old, too broken, and of course, because he's a werewolf. Then, during the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, Bill is mauled by Greyback, and despite the fact that his face is unrecognizable and the fact that he'll have werewolf tendencies, Fleur still says that she loves him and wants to be with him, inspiring Lupin to see his relationship with Tonks in a different light, proving that even in dark times, love always shines through.
And you see, it's not about what happens, it's just about what it represents.
Correct.
Nothing about what they like about each other. Nothing. No, they've got some cute tendencies together. Nothing. Just light in the darkness bush. Come on.
And the difference there being that they were already in love by the time he gets mangled. It's not like Tonks and Remus were together and then he got werewolfed and she went, no.
I would like to ask him, what does Tonks like about Lupin? What?
What does Lupin accept about Tonks to finally start dating her?
What?
Here's the question. What do 90% of the characters like about the other character? What does Hermione like about Ron? What does Ron like about Hermione? What does Harry like about Ginny? What does Ginny like about Harry? And so on and so forth ad infinitum.
That Dumbledore always preached. The line that sums this up perfectly is when McGonagall was encouraging Lupin and she said,
Yes, because you had to be told this. You're not shown it. You're just told that, hey, there's good and love is in the world. So in Madame Pomfrey and Flitwick could just start banging and you just go, yeah.
Finally. We've been waiting for years. As evidenced by all the writings that's happened beforehand.
Come on now.
And this perfectly parallels the relationship.
Off.
And of course, said Professor McGonagall curtly.
Dumbledore would have been happier
He
than
gestured sadly.
anybody to think that there was a little more love in the world. I also have to discuss Harry and Ginny's relationship, which is my favorite couple in the whole series.
You can't be. With all of my heart, I do not believe you believe this.
Yes. I think that it is a safe thing to say.
You know why? Because we get to see time with them as an actual couple. Hermione and Ron are at the very end of the series. Ron and Lavender are flash in the pan.
Nothing there.
Remus and Tonks, after they get together and hold hands at the funeral, I don't think they get another scene together until their death.
I think they were at the wedding.
Maybe. Bill and Fleur, like, we get to see him feed sausages to each other in relationship.
Molly and Arthur are good.
Yeah, they're awesome. That's the one you should be looking for.
But yeah, this, like, the only thing that he could say is, I could see why they like each other.
Based on what?
Based on the monster within Harry.
And Jenny's hero worship? Which is all this was hero worship?
Yes.
I never really got past you, Harry.
I was just banging the hole with other dudes until you finally came around, or I settled for somebody that wasn't you. I want the number one. That's all that I wanted. And then Dean Thomas is just there like,
my glass, though.
I thought we had something. Nah. This is what we have.
You were a replacement for this guy.
And who is Dean Thomas? There's so many nothing, nobody characters that are just like, yeah, they're together now. Why? I don't know. They are.
Weren't you? And you're also dating? No, I stopped dating. Don't even remember the guy's name. Here and gone.
There's a great metaphor about a beast inside of Harry.
A great metaphor.
We've been killing that beast since the jump.
Because it's horrible.
And this motherfucker.
Oh, the beast purred at the thought of them breaking up.
It lifted its head and sniffed around, hopefully. What? As a former 16-year-old boy, there was never no beast in me.
Represents his feelings for Ginny, whether it be growling with anger and jealousy, or purring with happiness. The beast also represents his internal battle with how to tell Ron and how to—
What?
This man really out here.
We cannot be here. This is impossible.
He really out here.
We can't be doing this. It represents that as well. Did it ever roar when they were there? It was about Jenny. End of sentence. End of metaphor. Horrible.
About this with his best friend, and ultimately, Harry and Ginny's kiss brings about one of my favorite moments between Harry and Ron, where Ron shrugs and gives him a look that says, "If you must," giving Harry.
Yeah, we read that. I know. I read the book, and he said that. Maybe get a happier looking Harry. I don't know, but go back,
Ron. Yo, what you thinking, fam?
Oh, guess what's about to happen with this wand? Guess where this is going?
Go back.
Yeah, to the picture.
They hurt.
What?
Hurt. That's a big cup.
That man got some ears on him. What is you doing? Again, I'm guessing that's Romilda Vane.
Yep.
Neville Pavardi, who is also not a character.
She did some in the fourth book. Or was that?
Yeah, no, they were there.
No. One of them were actually kind of a character in that way, and I can't remember which one.
I know one of them likes to gossip. Why the flowers, the roses?
You know why? It's obvious reasons.
Moments between Harry and Ron, where Ron shrugs and gives him a look that says, "If you must," giving Harry the okay to date Ginny. I feel as though this book handled romance better than any other book in the series.
No other book in the series had romance.
And this had all of it.
This was...
Oh yeah, Cho Chang.
That was not romance.
That was a shining example.
That was a pining, and it was a realization, and they realized they got nothing in common, and there's nothing cooking.
Especially the fifth book with Harry and Cho. I feel that this book's relationships were just written more naturally and were better fleshed out.
Hey, I suddenly like you!
And I've always liked you.
Hey, that's like 3 relationships here. What are we cooking?
Lavender and Ron. Come on now. You can't say that there's anything there. Literally, they said, what do you guys talk about? There's not much talking if you catch my drift.
Than Harry and Cho's relationship. Harry's relationship with Cho might have been developed.
That bad. So this good.
This was a schoolboy crush that was realized and then went, oh no, this is terrible.
Oh, I got what I want, but this ain't what it's kind of like what happened with Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh no, this is better from afar.
Been developed longer, but longer doesn't always mean better. Their relationship just didn't feel true, while Harry and Ginny's...
Why not?
It was someone who thought it was someone who did really like a girl. And then when it happened, it was super awkward and they fell apart.
But I would prefer that he explained that outside of just this is
that's natural. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, no. But I would prefer he in his video saying that this one's the good one and that one's the bad one to say more than he was a girl and she was a boy.
Yeah.
Can I make it any more obvious? I got that mixed up. But
I knew what you were going for. Not in this day and age.
That's a Phil joke, that is. We're not talking about Phil. We can't.
I don't even know what's really going on with Phil these days.
Outside of the big blow up, which
the biggest blow up, it's so
my
bad.
favorite rant he's ever done.
Legitimately, eat it. I'm gonna mail you a spoon so you can eat right out of my.
He got so mad.
For what?
Shut off. He put stank on. He was like, shut the up.
He was And it was somebody that's a long time support. Oh, you didn't like me for shut the up.
And it's mostly because he's like, I am going through this thing. Sympathize, feel some sympathy for me. And people aren't. He's just like, this dude his life is ruined. Can we all agree to that? Yes. And now my life is also. I said we couldn't talk about Phil.
But the thing is, it's because Phil wants to see himself as the hero of the story.
Yes.
When people meet the greatest man in history, Ichiban, they go, wow, you're a really good dude. You're a really nice dude.
Best
you have so many friends. It must come so easily to you. And Phil wants to be that. And he sees himself in Ichiban, and he's just going through it.
Ways.
But yet people still like him.
In all the wrong ways.
He sucks. Phil is legitimately the worst of men.
So real and so right. The part that always sticks out to me is when Ginny is leaning on Harry's leg and they joke around, Ginny saying that she told people Harry had a Hungarian horntail tattooed on his chest. We never really see raw natural moments like this.
That's not a raw natural moment. The reason you don't see that is they're not one in the same house, and two, Cho was going through a lot of emotions because her previous boyfriend died in the tournament that her current boyfriend won. She has to contend with all that in energy while Harry's just like, I don't know what to do here.
Plus, she wasn't a character.
And the same can be said about Hermione and Victor's relationship in The Goblet of Fire, which again was not fleshed out very well at all. The ending of the novel might be one of the best parts of the entire series.
Pause. Does everything need magic? Could he not have just been placed in a casket?
No.
Why did it need to burst into flames and then there's the casket? Why?
The pageantry. The tradition.
But it wasn't tradition because people were surprised.
No. People that had never been to a wizard funeral were surprised.
Oh, who?
The people that didn't go to the wizard funeral before. Harry's never been to one.
Absolutely. But surely.
In my opinion, the best ending out of all of the books. In the books before this, we always knew what was going to happen. Harry's life and the structure of the novels had always been defined by going back to Hogwarts. But now
we do know what's gonna happen. He's gonna get the Horcruxes and fight Voldemort. He's not gonna become a banker.
He literally said, I'm not coming back to school.
Yes.
We know what's happening next. He's not going back to school.
They literally say, I still gotta go back to the Dursley. We got a wedding and then Horcrux stuff. We know what's coming.
Gone and Harry knowing about the Horcruxes, that structure is ruptured. Deciding to leave school forever marks a true departure from the rest of the series, and because this book goes outside the norms, it once again makes this book stand out far more than
wouldn't the thing going out of the norm be the 7th book since there's no school?
Different.
Others in the series, and is one of the reasons why I think this book is the best, because it's so different and has.
He sucks. Yeah. He thinks sucks.
He's not good.
Different is not good. Different does not mean better. How can you contend with, hey, longer doesn't mean better, but you're going, it's different and that's why it's the best?
Has a different style of writing that fits this specific narrative. This writing style probably would not have worked in the other books.
Why not?
Because it wouldn't.
Why wouldn't it have worked in the 5th book?
Because it wouldn't.
But it's so well paired with the overall story in the Half-Blood Prince.
Yo, Dumbledore's face is crazy right there.
He looks like a villain. I'd be like, watch out, Harry. Here he come. He coming with his fire beard.
And his cross-eye.
The ending left me wanting more than any other book in the series did.
Okay, that's the final book coming.
That means nothing.
The 4th book left me with that feeling because Voldemort's back.
Because now that they weren't going back to Hogwarts, what came next was unclear. There are so many things that this book does better than any other book in the series. Romance, character development, tone, mysteries that mean more to
The tone of the 5th book, it's on the 6th book, pisses and poops on the 6th book. What are we doing here, sir?
the audience, and it's able to balance all of this in such a perfect way. Half-Blood Prince is and always will be my favorite Harry Potter book. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You can follow me on social media to see more of my personal life and see more of this little dude. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook for MovieFlame updates. And I want to give a huge shout out to all my patrons listed below.
Dude, put your mic closer to your face.
Get a bunch of other rewards.
Can't with the dog there.
Today. Again, thank you so much
The
for
dog
watching.
don't want to be
Make
there.
sure you press that like button and subscribe. And look out for more great videos on the way.
-10.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm with you, but woof.
It's just, I as we know,
Yes.
I don't like bad comparisons like that.
Yeah.
This thing is bad because I say it is, and that makes this better. No,
Mhm.
that's not how it works.
This
And
thing
it's
is
also
only good.
not,
This thing is only good because the previous thing was bad.
and also different. That's also a big thing about it.
So-
What did I write down but didn't bring up?
Oh no. We have because reasons coming at some point.
Harry has a slave.
Yes. Willing slaves.
If he isn't your slave, we'll have to find a way to keep him quiet.
Get him out of here.
Magic turning vinegar into wine, ice and explode it. Things introduced when they're needed. Thestrals, Inferi, Greyback, Unbreakable Vow. Tonks crap makes no sense. Guinea isn't a character, neither is Lavender. Vampires, 3 question marks. Petty Potter wanted to use the luck for Guinea.
Terrible.
He looks accusingly at Ron and Hermione. The fat lady painting got drunk from wine from other paintings.
Correct.
Do they replenish, or do they need to go get more wine?
Yeah,
Is
do
there-
they hand the wine through the portrait to give them
or do they
wine?
need to paint more wine?
Or do they wine it up?
Yeah, because they are paintings of wizards. So do they replenish their own painting wine?
Correct.
Worthless. Rufus and Harry's scene with the gnome and the worm. Why was Harry Potter never good at potions if he could follow the Half-Blood Prince instructions? Why the fire tomb? Not everything needs to be magic. 7-year-olds know the unbreakable vow. Why does Slughorn have a full cauldron of luck potion? Why is 7 the most magical number? Harry Potter sees Trelawney and Draco succeeds.
Yep.
Combo into Snape heard the prophecy.
Yep.
This is the wider into the bigger Harry Potter because reasons, but the point systems are terrible.
Broken.
It makes no sense. Teachers just don't have a limit. So why can't they
1
just go
trillion points.
every time they go into the Great Hall, just like, you're eating too loud, Potter, 50 points from Gryffindor. There's no rhyme or reason. Okay, that's everything that I wrote down after the books. If I was going as the books were going,
Because I realized how much I remember the big moments of these
Yes.
books. And then as I was listening to this, I went, 1, I don't remember none of this. And 2, I know why I don't remember this. Because it's terrible.
I was just like, they go to Fred George's joke shop. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was good.
I remember the love potion stuff. But I didn't remember nothing about the shield charms. I didn't remember no parts of that.
Of course not. How could you? And then
Just the secret back room. I didn't remember none of that.
and there's just so many scenes of, and then Harry did the potion great, and Hermione was frustrated. That happened like 4 or 5 times.
It's really
And then I forgot that they went back to the Weasleys for Christmas, and just nothing happened. And then it just came back, and then
Yep.
nope.
Nope. I hope everyone felt good about
our first foray into Harry Potter. Again, this is the worst one. We could have done, because there's, I think by this same person, they said that the 5th book stinks.
And the 5th book's the best book.
But is it? Does it in fact stink?
Is it? And
It
does
might
it actually stink?
It might stink.
Because let's never forget, she's a hack.
She's not a great writer. And the fact that they allowed her to just go, Lavender and Ron, what conversations have they had? Whatever. They're just together. For what purpose? To make Hermione jealous.
I would have believed in Luna and Ron more, because in the previous book, Luna was kind of staring at Ron and laughing at all his jokes and laughing too loudly.
And she mentioned, Harry mentions Ron, and he's like, yeah, he's a funny guy, but he goes too far sometimes. And Luna noticed that. So it's like she's noticing. But also in this book, when they do the first lesson with Slughorn, they're just like, what do you smell? And Hermione doesn't mention the last thing that she smells, but you just go, she's smelling something from Ron, so there's already there, so we don't need this lavender thing. Cut it.
And is the third thing you smell always like the thing you're attracted to? Like the smell? Because Harry, the third thing he smelled was the thing he was attracted to. Is it? And you can brew euphoria? Get this out of it! This book sucks! This world sucks!
The world is one of the worst worlds
such a bad
imaginable.
World. But
it's so broken.
There's so much good in it.
Yes.
But it's such a bad world.
It's one of those things where it goes, it's amazing when you don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really good things when you do think about it. But when you think more about it, it just crumbles.
You realize, oh no, this is bad. It was always bad.
They're slaves, but they like being slaves, so it's fine.
And the person that's just like, let's not make them slaves, everyone treats her like she's crazy. Like she's the one in the wrong. The wizard statue in the 5th book in the Ministry of Magic, where everyone's just looking up lovingly at the wizard, and we're just supposed to be like, yeah.
The crazy house elf is the one getting paid a sickle a month.
He ain't buying shit. What is he doing?
He's buying socks because he just likes socks. But they're just like, oh, this moth slave wants to get paid.
He gets a day off, and they're just like,
we do this for the glory of it. When Slughorn was just like, yeah, I brought the wine. Don't worry, I've had house elves taste it for poison. It's like, cool? Especially when we consider butterbeer is too strong for them.
Yes.
So
knock them on their balls.
You kind of killed an elf.
More than likely. But not through the poison.
The world. I'm looking forward to, if nothing else, to just talk about the world.
And just to succinct one video.
Yo, this is... it don't make no sense. Just flat out don't.
But we have another because reasons before we ever get to that one, which is the Naruto because reasons we still need to do.
And that's also going to be bad because I'm just sitting there just going... I was just sometimes just flip through and I was just like, okay, what did Itachi do to have it be like when you, Sasuke, look at
Naruto,
look at Obito, the Amaterasu comes out. What did he do for that?
Yeah, what time jutsu
How did that happen? How did he do that?
Cool. Don't know what we're doing yesterday.
That's a Harry Potter sentence.
But yeah, this comes out Sunday. That's when y'all will hear it. Saturday, we'll probably discuss it tomorrow morning because we're finished. Harry Potter. And this isn't one of those, oh, JK is a bad person, so now you think Harry Potter. No, you can go back to podcasts like 6-7 years ago. I was on the train that this
It's amazing. The book is amazing. And
we will.
She'll do great things, mark my words.
She loves everybody.
Harry Potter says trans rights.
They're human rights, and she believes that as well.